Stolen data, stolen designs, stolen rights. Many deceptions. Did I care? No, not at all. But that changed. It changed because of one shirt. That shirt made me go on an eye-opening journey. A journey that involves a fashion brand that stole the minds and hearts of people in the US and around the world. The brand is Shein. Shein became a global phenomenon and revolutionized the fashion industry. But what if I tell you that you know absolutely nothing about Shein? About how Shein became popular through deceiving millions of people, including you and me, or how those cheap clothes are way more expensive than you can imagine. And that is why you need to know about my journey. A small disclaimer. This journey changed my mind and the way I look at things. Chances are it will change yours too. So, my journey started when I decided that I need to get a new shirt. I usually prefer going to the mall, but I have been hearing a lot about Shein and their amazing collection. So, I was like, I want to give it a shot. What I did not know at that time is that this simple shopping experience will open my eyes in ways that I could not imagine. But more on that later. After spending a few minutes on their website, I was stunned. I felt like there were a million options to choose from. It was something like getting a million search results on Google. After exploring for a while, I picked one shirt that I liked the most. When I picked out that shirt, Shein recommended other similar styles. What popped into my mind was that those shirts aren't just random. They're good. They are really good. My search for a shirt was endless as everything was so cheap, and the recommended styles made this feel like a unique shopping experience. This personalized experience tempted me to do some research on Shein and how they operate. Turns out, we have no idea about how sophisticated it is to bring you this suspiciously personalized shopping experience. And it's not a coincidence that I like the styles that were recommended. They know exactly what they are doing. But before we jump into how Shein works, let me tell you more about the origin and rise of this mysterious company and how it grew to a value of $100 billion. At the beginning of 2012, Chris Zhu, a Washington University graduate and passionate founder and CEO of Shein, gave up his wedding dress business to acquire the domain shainside.com. Originally selling women's clothes, he rebranded as Shein in 2015, shifted focus overseas, and bought fashion rivals. Now, Shein is based in China with a focus on ultra-fast fashion. Yes, Shein is considered an ultra-fast fashion company, not only fast fashion, given its insane production rate. Their biggest market is the US, but they also ship internationally around the world. Products are usually sent from Shein's warehouse in Guangdong to a warehouse near Los Angeles to handle products for the US market. Now, let's talk about the market value. Funding rounds have fueled the rapid growth of Shein. There's a report that Shein raised around $2 billion of private funding in April 2022. The valuation of Shein is $100 billion. That is more than fast fashion giants H&M and Zara combined. But wait a second, last time I checked, Shein was cheap. Even their premium collection is very cheap. So, you might be thinking, how can they produce products at those cheap prices and still have enough profitability to be a massively successful business? Most of the Shein products are sold in the range of $10 to $20. This makes their prices around 50% less than other competitors like Zara and H&M. Shein can sell you those cheap products for several reasons. The first reason is that they don't have a physical store. Even though a store is a convenient place to try on clothes, it does result in many additional expenses for the business. Since it is an online business, Shein can afford to offer cheaper clothes than its competitors. They compensate by providing accurate details about their clothes like materials, finishes, size guides, and offering free returns in many countries. Shein makes sure that home shopping isn't a problem. But it is worth noting that Shein has recently started their pop-up store initiative. The first pop-up was in New York City in 2018. In the following years, pop-up stores were opened in Austin, Dallas, LA, Miami, and San Francisco, among many others. You can imagine that the sacrifice for the cost of brick and mortar is more tolerable and would now have a smaller effect on their profits. A pop-up store is usually set up on a busy street, mall, or city center with lots of foot traffic. Given the publicity of these pop-ups, this initiative would probably be a positive investment. The other reason is that Shein focuses on digital marketing instead of pricey billboards and TV commercials. Word of mouth and social media did the trick, and the business saved a ton on advertising. To promote the brand on social media, Shein also partners with celebrities and influencers. For instance, during a virtual fashion show in 2020, Katy Perry was one of the celebrity singers performing. I found that teens often post Shein haul videos on TikTok and Instagram thanks to the ridiculously low prices. Many social media users share these videos to show what you can get for $100. Shein is so successful on social media because it is receiving free marketing all the time. Shein is also the most downloaded app in more than 56 countries around the world. Another reason Shein can sell you cheap clothing is that it targets profiting through selling a high volume of products. So it's not about selling more expensive clothes, it's just about selling a lot of them. And while other businesses increase their profit margins once they achieve success, Shein is committed to staying cheap and accessible. So they are staying true to their brand. There's been a lot of pressure on many of the big fashion companies to reinvent their businesses in recent years. This is because of a new generation of ultra-fast fashion companies has emerged, and people are clearly falling in love with them. As an ultra-fast fashion company, Shein gained a speedy edge over its competitors. Every day, Shein releases more than 6,000 new designs, thanks to the Speedy system. The last time you heard about the Speedy system was when you saw the documentary about McDonald's and how it revolutionized how burgers are created. It's not the same system, but Shein's Speedy system is also revolutionizing the fashion industry. The Speedy system enables on-demand design and production. In as little as 3 days, Shein can create new designs and post them to the website. This usually takes more than a month for competing companies. To guide design and production, Shein shares real-time customer search data with suppliers through its supply chain management software. The new products are only produced in small batches, around 50 to 100 items. According to their popularity, production ramps up. Customers' preferences are closely monitored and controlled by this method, and therefore the design and production remain a very lean and efficient process. Shein is obsessed with predicting what color, fabric, and style will be popular in different countries. Across all its social platforms, it promotes stylish and affordable fashions. As a result, Shein functions less like a traditional clothing company and more like a tech startup. You may be wondering, how does Shein predict our taste in fashion? What is their secret sauce for this operation? The answer is 2 words: big data. So, what is big data? Big data is defined by the 3 V's: volume, velocity, and variety. Volume indicates the huge amount of data that's collected. Velocity indicates that the data is generated frequently, and variety means that the data types are different and can include text, audio, and video. Shein, according to industry insiders, collects a great deal of data about its customers' viewing habits and tastes in fashion. Shein then instructs its factories to produce copies at a cheaper price than its competitors. Remember the Speedy system we were talking about? Well, big data is the heart and soul of that system. Now you are starting to sense that Shein is not very sincere when it comes to your privacy. Your online behavior is tracked and predicted using algorithms in real time. And the more you agree to be tracked, the more Shein gets access to your fashion style and preferences. So, what you should be thinking about is, what's the price we are really paying for all of this? In recent videos we have seen on TikTok, Shein employees appear to be secretly writing, "Help me" or "Need your help" on products tags. People are interpreting the writings as secret hidden messages from Shein employees forced to work against their will. People also shared other messages they found on receipts, like "Help me" or "I'm in pain." We need to ask ourselves this: how legit is this evidence? Surprisingly, not much. Snopes, a website that debunks myths, found that most of these images were misleading. Snopes said that these were not genuine requests for help. Some of them were even taken out of context to get social media attention. Snopes also mentioned that they are unsure of the results of investigative initiatives launched when the notes were discovered. Shein also tweeted about these incidents, and they focused on how much they are strict when it comes to the working conditions of labor. So, does that mean that workers in the fast fashion industry are working in good conditions? Absolutely not. Shein is successful because consumers want cheap clothing in bigger quantities. Fashion workers are under dangerous pressure because of this. According to Rolling Stone, factory employees work for Shein between 12 to 14 hours a day and 28 days a month. They work under incredibly unsafe conditions, such as windowless rooms with no fire exits. So no, these are not perfect yet normalized conditions for labor work. Another thing is that most of their workers are temps and are not in the social welfare system. This hugely compromises their labor rights. As Reuters reports, Shein used to say on its website that they were proudly in compliance with international labor standards like the SA 8000. SA 8000 is a management system standard that is based on international human rights principles. This includes forced labor, child labor, health and safety, and more relevant areas. A spokesperson for Social Accountability International said that Shein hadn't been certified by its program and they hadn't contacted the company. After Reuters asked about it, Shein removed the page. You'll now land on a social responsibility page without any mention of SA 8000. So, what do you think? Does this look like the act of a socially responsible company? Now, what I discovered is that unethical labor working conditions are not the only way Shein is negatively impacting people. Since the rise of Shein, there have been lots of lawsuits alleging that the company is stealing other people's designs. The fast fashion industry is well known for copyright infringement, mainly because retailers are under pressure to keep prices low. Public records show that Shein has been sued for trademark or copyright infringement more than 50 times in the US. That's above average. To put things into perspective, Shein has been sued almost 10 times more than H&M. Social media is full of independent designers complaining about products or designs that Shein is selling without their permission. Shein has also been accused of stealing designs from major brands like Ralph Lauren and Oakley. Several Nirvana album covers were also used without permission on Shein's t-shirts. In many cases, Shein settled for unknown amounts. Shein sometimes blames third-party suppliers when complaints about knockoffs are made. For companies like Shein, the risk of lawsuits is a usual business cost that they choose to live with. It is a cost that is paying off pretty well for them. The problem is that small designers rarely have enough funds to sue them. Now, we need to ask ourselves, is there a wider effect for Shein's operation? At first glance, and because of Shein's speedy system, you would think that raw materials are used in smaller quantities, so there's less waste. The more popular a product becomes, the more it is mass-produced. But even a small-scale product contributes to waste and carbon emissions. Over 10% of carbon emissions come from the fashion industry. By 2030, carbon emission is expected to double again. Carbon emissions are at the root of global warming, causing our planet to become increasingly unlivable with every ton released. Shein's approach to sales fits perfectly into a world where most people throw away new clothes the same year they buy them. There is always something new to buy on Shein's website, which fuels demand for their products. The more we demand it, the more we are destroying our planet. So, in a way, Shein is amplifying the root causes of climate change. Fast fashion also uses a lot of water, which has a negative environmental impact. A cotton shirt requires 700 gallons of water to make, while a pair of jeans requires 2,000 gallons. The pesticides farmers use to grow cotton are hazardous to their health. Additionally, according to Business Insider, textile dyeing is the second biggest water polluter in the world, because dyed water is dumped into ditches, streams, and rivers. Another thing is that the process of turning plastic into textiles is energy intensive and releases volatile particulates and acids like hydrogen chloride. So, what's Shein doing about all of this? Shein is clearly greenwashing. Greenwashing is using green terms in vague statements to boost sales, while damaging the environment at the same time. Green language includes the words sustainable, responsible, or even carbon neutral in empty claims. Shein's website brags about the sustainability of its operations. For example, they emphasize how they are doing things small, using eco-friendly materials, paying decent salaries, and ensuring that factories follow safety regulations. Taking into consideration the massive scale of their operation, what they are doing is close to nothing. So, let's just say that when you visit Shein's website, you can see greenwashing in action. To be fair, Shein pledged $15 million to solve the waste problem created by exporting second-hand clothing to Ghana. More than 15 million second-hand garments are sent to Ghana from Europe and North America every week. Not more than 60% of these clothes prove useful, while the rest is thrown in landfills. All of this waste piling up in the landfills. Do you think $15 million is enough? Well, we can categorize that as greenwashing. They started the Shein X initiative. This initiative focuses on marketing and manufacturing the designer's pieces, while Shein keeps ownership. In other words, designers can send in their designs and sell them through the Shein platform. This initiative can be seen as the middle ground of Shein, wanting fresh designs yet giving proper attribution to the designers. The dilemma is that people know about the unethical acts of Shein stealing designs, but would want to support the up-and-coming designers. Now, I need you to ask yourself these questions. Why do you allow such businesses to spy on you, manipulate you, and destroy your environment? More importantly, do you want to do something about this? Well, if you said yes, I have a few suggestions that I am doing myself. First, you should change the way you think. Shopping is not the most important thing in our lives. Our obsession with shopping should not have such a negative impact. Instead of focusing on buying everything you can put your hands on, you can focus on quality again. Remember when quality was more important than quantity? Our closets are full of fast fashion clothes, but they're made from cheap materials that don't hold up, so we're always buying new ones. The ultimate goal of sustainability is to consume less. That may be possible by buying better products, paying attention to where you shop, and shopping from sustainable and ethical fashion brands is one of the most effective ways to make sure your clothes aren't harming the environment. Additionally, you'll be helping people around the world by supporting fair labor law. Recycling is also critical. Your old clothes can be made into insulation for houses or used for producing clothes once they've been collected. You see, these are small steps, but they can make huge changes in solving these problems. My journey started with buying a shirt, but it changed my mindset on many things. The whole purpose of sharing this journey is to spread awareness. It is not about shaming people into changing their shopping habits. I get it. Lots of people do care about sustainability and want to change the world around them in a positive way. But let's get real, sustainability is not cheap. So, it is unfortunate to say that fast fashion and ultra-fast fashion clothing is the only thing some people can afford to buy. Buying high-quality clothing is not cheap. But I guess we can all contribute in our own ways to a better world. It may be something as little as improving our buying habits. If you enjoy this video and learned a thing or two, please hit the like button, the bell button, and share this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.